Hey guys, it's Lane with Tim's Nation. I'm here today to talk to you a little bit about the Custodes I'm going to be playing against DJ's Necrons today. I I don't think this is a super competitive Custodes list. I'm trying the Venatari. I haven't played them yet in 10th edition because I thought they were wildly overpriced. But I'm going to try the Lances. We're going to try to do the rapid ingress thing, see if we can make it work. So I'll go through the list here in a second. I do want to talk a little bit about what I did this past weekend. Every year, the Games Workshop, actual Games Workshop stores, the Warhammer stores, the ones owned by Games Workshop, they do an Armies on Parade event. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it for a couple years because of COVID. But last year was the first year back, and then this year again. And basically, once a year, Armies on Parade occurs at all the Games Workshop stores, and you can take your army there and set it up and display it. And folks go around and vote, and there's prizes and that sort of thing. So I did that this past weekend. Set up my Custodes. Used a bunch of terrain. Had a big a display set up for them, so you'll see some pictures of those. Very proud of how it turned out. I got second place out of the event, and I do want to congratulate Ken on getting first place. Nice job, Ken. Last year was the first year after COVID, and only a couple people showed up. I ended up winning it last year, but Ken was also there, and this year Ken was able to win it. So I'm glad he stuck with him. Glad he brought in another display this year. His Death Guard looked great. So nice work, Ken. You earned it, bud. And then, so I'm going to be running the Custodes today. I haven't played them a whole lot in 10th. It's weird because I don't like to play the Custodes when they're overpowered. But I feel like the nerfs that GW did were a whole lot and really hindered them quite a bit. So I feel like they might be underpowered. They never get the happy medium. It's always too hot or too cold. So we're going to try them today, see how they play. I'm bringing 3 squads of the Venatari. The models have the pistols on them and the bucklers, but we're going to be using the lances because the pistols do not make any sense. They're not just less good. They're no good. They're terrible. So we're going to run them as lances. Not everything's WYSIWYG, but take a look. Here's the list. It's a tiny little army. These guys are so expensive. So here it is. All right, guys, today it's Custodes. The Custodes army rule is the martial katas. I'm not sure how we're supposed to pronounce those, but basically, at the start of every fight phase, I can choose to either have lethal hits, sustained hits, or I can cause my opponent to be -1 to hit me in combat. So I choose that in each fight phase, both mine and my opponent's. So it gives these guys some extra punch in close combat or some extra defense when they need it. Now, next, as far as the actual army rule or the detachment rule, they get a 4-up feel no pain to mortals. As everyone knows, this used to be including devastating wounds, but the FAQs, the updates that GW brought out means they don't get this for devastating wounds, only actual mortals. So what I'm bringing today, we've got 3 characters, first of all. We've got Trajan Valoris, we have the Blade Champion, the Blade Wizard, and we have Custodes Assassin. So Trajan Valoris obviously hits like a truck. He lets his unit ignore any kind of penalties to characteristics or any rolls other than obviously armor save modifiers. And he has the Moment Shackle. So once per game, he will be able to do one of these 3 things. You just pick one once per game. Not each one once per game, just one of them. But he can either change his melee attack to an attack number of 12, so he gets 12 swings, or he'll get a 2+ invuln save, or his unit will get the Fight's First ability. And you choose that during a fight phase. So once per game, I can pop that off. Next, we have the Blade Champion. The Blade Champion, he will be leading the Wardens that I have today, and he lets his unit re-roll advances and charges. And once per game, he can let his unit advance and charge. So once per game, they get to charge after advancing, but they get to re-roll all their advances and charges. And his unit can use the Heroic Intervention strat for 0 CP, even if another unit has done it already. And he has a variety of attacks. I'm not going to go through them all, but he has a variety of attacks. He can be precision, or he can switch it up and go sustain with a higher volume, or he can do some devastating wounds, more powerful into vehicles and characters and that sort of thing. So, of course, we have the Custodes. I'm sure everybody knows how the Custodes works. She has lone operative. She can pick up at the end of every one of your opponent's movement phases and drop back down at your turn. And she has the ability to vector, as they say, make an opponent's battle tactic strategy more expensive throughout the rest of the game. Then we've got 2 5-mans of the Custodian Guard. So one of them has a Vexilla. I only have one Vexilla painted up, so I haven't done another one. I'm not going to try and proxy or anything. So one of them does have Vexilla. They all have the spears. I think the spears are just a generally better profile in this edition. Their special rules are they get to reroll 1s to wound, and if they are within range of an objective that they control, they get to reroll the entire wound roll. And then once per game, they can shoot twice. Next, we've got a 5-man of the Wardens. These are the high durability guys. So their special rule is, first of all, when they are being led by a character, anytime they are attacked by something that has higher strength than their toughness, you subtract 1 for the wound roll. And of course, the big juicy one, once per battle at the start of any phase, you can give them a 4-up feel no pain, which makes them super durable. They're not WYSIWYG today. They've got the axes. I'm using the spears. I'm using them as spears, so they're not WYSIWYG. And then we're going to go on to the Venatari. The Venatari, I've got 3 squads of 3. They're very expensive. It's 200 points for 3 guys. And so I haven't used them yet. And mine are modeled with the pistols and the bucklers, and we're just going to use them as the lances today. So again, sorry, they're not WYSIWYG, but I'm not doing 9 more Venatari with lances, because who knows? Next edition they'll switch back, and then the pistols will be better. But their special rule is that they have the ability to fall back and shoot and charge. And when they deep strike, they can use the rapid ingress stratagem for free, and multiple units can do that in the same turn. So they can use the rapid ingress stratagem for free, even if someone else has already done it. So all 3 of these can rapid ingress in the same turn. And then their lance, the Venatari lance, is a little bit better in terms of combat. It's 5 attacks, it's strength 7, AP2, 2 damage, and it does have the lance keyword, meaning they're +1 to wound on the charge, which means once they get in there, they'll be wounding most of DJ's army on 2s today, because most of his army is like T5, T6. So on the charges, they should do some work. It'll just be a matter of whether the rest of the army is going to still be around when they come in. So, and then finally, we got one of the Custodes. I don't remember which gun is which as far as on the physical model, because I actually have 2 of the turrets. But we're running this today with a Twin Arachnus Heavy Blaze Cannon. It's a good profile. It's shooting profile. Sorry, give me a second here. It's got 4 attacks, but it is twin link, so it hits on 2, strength 12, AP3, D6 +2 damage. So it should pick up a few things throughout the game, as long as it doesn't get immediately aced by DJ's high damage shooting. It does have a 5-up invuln. I'm really hoping that the invulns make a difference today, but that's the list we're bringing today. 2,000 points. It doesn't look like a whole lot on the table. We'll see if it sticks around for a little while. Okay, guys, as I said, I'm hoping the 4-up invulns do some work today and bounce some of these shots that DJ is putting in, because they are high damage. He's got a lot of high damage shots that can really wreck Custodians, pick them up off the table. I'm going to rely on the 4-up invulns. I hope the Wardens can have some durability today, being -1 to wound and being able to pop off their field no pain once per game. I don't really know. I feel like the Venatari will do a lot of work into his list, but I feel like the rest of my army might just get wasted and might not be able to contribute a whole lot. We'll see how it goes. I don't want to make it seem like I don't have high hopes, but I have not really practiced with the Custodes, so I'm sure you guys will be able to leave a bunch of comments in there and let me know where I messed up or what I could do differently. I really like the Custodes models, but their play styles, I'm more of a shooty guy, and they're more of a fighty army. But I definitely appreciate any feedback or comments on the list I have, suggestions, that sort of thing. I have a decent-sized Custodes army, so next time I bring them, I can bring some different things. But so follow me over to the battle report. We'll see how these guys do into DJ's Destroyer Cult. All right, guys, see you there.